I'm Professor Stephanie, and today's chapter we're going to learn about adding plants successfully to our still life drawings and interiors. Plants give you a great opportunity to add an organic flavor, a kind of a free flow object that is very much in contrast to many of the geometric shapes that we find in interiors. The chairs, the boxes are all geometric. Plants are very free flowing and organic. So let's take a close look at several plants that I've drawn to note the ways that we can be successful at creating plants that look realistic, that are free flowing, and add this interest to our interiors. One of the key components in being successful in drawing a realistic plant is to have an actual plant in front of you that you're looking at. What you're going to be doing is noticing very carefully the leaf shape itself. Is it long and narrow? Is it more rounded? Is it heart-shaped? You'll also be looking at creating leaves that kind of float in the air. They're kind of wavy. This is a flavor of many plants. You're going to be noticing the front of the leaf and the back of the leaf. Oftentimes they have different values, and when you add this to your drawing, you create a lot of interest. At the base, your stems you're going to be looking at are going to be overlapping. The stems themselves will have thickness. So in general, those are the qualities that you're going to be looking at in a plant to be successful in your drawing. This drawing is a great example of how I utilize these qualities of having the front of the leaf. When I look at the leaf, the front is just showing the veins. There's no other a value in there. When you turn and look at the back of the leaf, there's much more value. It's darker. I'm showing some interest with that front and the back. The stems themselves were very thick, so I show them in two lines. They start narrow at the top and they get thicker at the bottom. You'll also notice at the base of the plant, the stems overlap. Each one of these qualities of the drawing is helping to make this drawing look realistic. Looking closely at this drawing, you can see the leaves are quite different. The shape is different. I also wanted to emphasize the top of these leaves had lots going on. Their veins were very prominent. It actually had a green background, and the veins were pink. There was lots of intertwining with them. I wanted to show that drama, that dramatic part of the leaf with my drawings. You'll see the shapes are quite different than the one we looked at. There's a lot of space in between the leaves, so the shape of the overall plant is very different too. Notice in this plant, I took a completely different point of view on the value. The leaves themselves have no texture on them. They have a very low value. Just the center vine is shown, the vein is shown. The background has all the texture. The pot has the linear lines that are creating a dark value. I use stippling on the background below the chair rail. And I actually took this plant and put it on this base. It wasn't originally that way, to create the setting that I could get to get this drawing. So you also have the option to switch with your values. Instead of having the value changes on the plant, you can put that on the background and keep the plant leaves plain. Here are some close-up of leaves that you will notice how each leaf shape is different. I've treated the front and the back differently. There's some overlapping, there's some extra texture. So again, while you're looking at your leaf, think about ways that you can portray this in your drawing. In this plant, I'd like you to notice two things. One is on the top, I worked to keep the top of this plant having some air space, so those leaves branched out away from the base. I also want you to notice the shade and shadow that I worked to create with the leaves on top of the leaves toward the center and as they overlapped the pot itself. And I've got a close-up here of that overlapping and how I did that to create some shade and shadow. In review, here's a couple things to remember. One, always be looking at a real plant when you do your drawing. Starting at the base, look at how thick the base of each of those stems are. How do they overlap? How are they crisscrossing? Show those stems with 2 lines. When you look up at the leaves, take a close look at the shape of the leaves. Are they rounded? Are they narrow? Is it more of a heart shape? Look at the details on the leaf itself, the front of the leaf and the back of the leaf. Can you create some different values with the front and the back? Just be sure to enjoy drawing this plant. Be a little free flow with it. Remember, it's organic. Leaves come in all shapes and sizes. So be sure to have some fun as you add plants to your still lifes and your interior drawings. Thanks.